Alright, so I'm currently in Seoul in what's called Yeoksam Station.
Yeoksam, or it's actually just near Gangnam. You can say you are in Gangnam.
I'm in Gangnam, the fancy place in Korea,
Yeah.
And I found this really cool Digimon spot run by one of the great fellows out here doing a bunch of great work for the Digimon tournament scene for Korea. IamBananaSoup, to introduce the folks to who you are and kind of what you do.
So my name is Kurt, and I go by the name Banana Soup on the X or Twitter.
The internet,
whatever, on the internet. I have been playing Digimon ever since the Korean version came out.
So for folks who don't know, like, when did the Korean version come out?
Korean version came out like 2 years ago, around like March to April.
Okay.
2023, around that time.
Is that around the time I met you?
Yeah. Around that time. So, and ever since then, I wanted to like host like because I like the game so much, and because back then they didn't have a lot of like, it was a small game.
Of course.
So
yeah.
I wanted to like make people come in, so I just hosted my own tournament.
Nice.
And thankfully, people like the game enough. A lot of people started came by, and I also started to host Japanese tournament as well. And today we had like 28 people.
So you just submitted something I think that a lot of folks at home might not know. So you just said that you're in Korea. You started with the Korean version of the game, but you just said that you held a Japanese tournament. Like, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean when you say that?
Okay, so basically the Korean version came out on 2023. Like around March, around that time.
Okay.
And it came out in the very first set, so like 1.0, the one that has like the mixture of like PT1 to PT3.
Yeah.
So it was like very like early stages. But the fact that even then there were like the old heads or the people that were playing like a Japanese version.
So you're saying that people in Korea play the Japanese version of the card game?
Yes.
Do they sell Japanese cards here?
Yeah, they sell the cards here as well.
So then they sell a Japanese version of the game and a Korean language version of the game at the same time.
Yes.
So what's the difference between the both of those?
The biggest difference is the price difference. The biggest difference is the price difference. The thing about Korean culture, I think it's similar to like a lot like the Asian culture, where we are so used to our language, so we don't actually try to adapt, try to play the different version. So even if there is a Japanese version, there's a lot of people who don't want to try just because they don't want to read Japanese basically. Yeah. So
sound like me right now.
So that's the reason why when the Korean version came out, it's actually pretty cool that a lot of people will like Digimon. Digimon's a pretty big franchise here in Korea, so there's a lot of who are into Digimon that like, oh, it has a card game came out, it's Korean now, so I should try it out. So there's a lot of the Korean people that try it out during that time, but there were also like some people that are used to Japanese like languages, and they're the people that really like the all different kinds of like TCG, like card games, and for them it's like they have been playing the Japanese card game a lot already, so Digimon card game is already kind of one of their like option.
So if I can kind of like paraphrase, like you're saying that they're really like core fans probably played the Japanese version of the game before the Korean version came out.
That's right.
And now they can play either, I guess.
Yeah. The thing about the Korean version is because it came out 2 years ago, so it has a kind of a 3-year difference. So they are even if they are pumping out the product every month, basically.
Yeah, like they're like accelerating the timetable for like releases, right?
Yeah. So like right now in Korean version they just came out BT14.
Oh, okay.
BT14 and
Lugamon.
Yeah, Lugamon just came out, and people are trying out. People are thinking like, so this is the purple doggy that they're talking about. Purple doggy that's talking about.
Trust me, he's gonna stick around for a while.
Yeah. And then because there's like a Holy Angel Malaise, and then people are like, wait, I can actually just play that and then put on something like Venusmon, something like that, and that's pretty cool. So anyway, so this, but even then, it still has a very big gap between the Japanese version. So for Japanese people who are used to the Japanese version, the gap is still big enough that they don't really thinking of like going try Korean version, because it's like why do I need to like go back because when I already have like when I can play with the US cards.
Yeah, you have to rebuy all the cards, so there's kind of like not an incentive to go back.
Yeah, and because of the Korean culture, in the Korean version of the game, we don't allow like for example, even if you have the Japanese version of the cards, we are not allowing that.
Oh, so you have to have in Korean tournaments essentially.
Yeah.
Like official Korean tournaments, you have to have the Korean version of the card.
Yeah,
Makes
and
sense. Okay.
even in unofficial one, people just don't like it for the most part because it's like there's Korean version already. Why are you not buying it? Why are you not buying it? Why are you confusing people? Why are you confusing people with the alien language? Kind of something like that. So.
Okay. So like, can you tell me a little bit about the scene out here, like the players, and I guess a little bit more about like the people who show up to events?
Oh, so the Korean version and the Japanese version has a very distinctive like community. They're basically two different communities actually. So, for example, the one that got second in today's Japanese tournament, the Kamishiro, I think he's pretty famous in Japan as well.
Yeah, I think on Twitter in general, he's pretty popular.
So he's like the one of the, I should say, like a deck maker in Korea. Like basically, he's the one that kind of
very talented deck builder.
He kind of pioneered a lot of like deck ideas and spread around the community.
Yeah.
So even like this month, even in today's tournament, when you look at all the Royal Knights deck, a lot of the idea in Korea, specifically like for example, playing 3 Oryumon.
Yeah.
The Oryugen, the Alphamon Oryugen.
Ace the Ace, right?
Ace the Ace.
Yeah. The Hurricane Ace.
In Korean version, there are a lot of people that playing 3 because they just think it's too good. And so he's the one that pioneered that you just have to play once and then he does so many jobs for you and stuff. and he shares a lot of decent tricks among the community. So he's the one that pioneered a lot of it. And there's like there's also like a person called like he goes like the Hifumi on Twitter. And
Hifumi. Yeah.
He's the one that those 3 were the team like back when November when we were a team.
So folks, real quick, for folks who don't know, like they came to Japan back in November and they joined a Japanese like team tournament. And actually got third. Yeah, they got third. So
yeah, he's pretty good.
So very talented players out here for sure.
So Hifumi is famous for playing a lot of blue decks. Blue or doggy.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So
he's always got an option there.
Yeah. So he has been playing a lot of like a Fairy Lugamon or a blue hybrid or the Wergarumon, something like that. So he has been, he's the one that's famous for playing a lot of like the blue decks and the one that's the multi-hits and stuff.
Yeah.
So they are like the 2 figureheads that I would like say is like some of the famous players that's in
Korea.
In Korea for Japanese version.
Are there any chances for like the Japanese players, the people who play the Japanese version and the people who play the Korean version to like get together? Is there ever any crossover?
There are some Korean players that try out the Japanese version, and there are also some Japanese player tries out the Korean version. He's like, it's a good old Lugamon. Good old Lugamon.
Going back to the good old days,
back to
right?
Lugamon. It's like,
dropping down 3 dark animals and my opponent crying.
Yeah, something like that. So there are some crossovers, but for the most part, they treat their language as the main game. They seldom, it's pretty seldom that it doesn't really occur a lot. They join the other versions.
Oh, really?
But there are some crossovers. There are some players that does play like both versions.
I'd be interested to see what happens once you guys actually like catch up with, I guess, the Japanese version or now the rest of the world ever since we hit parity at the end of last month.
So if we release this at this rate, like we release like every month, the estimated the catch-up window is around like middle of next year, I think.
Oh wow! So at least I got some time then.
Yeah, middle of next year. Because it's a PD14, then there's a period of time. Even the Japanese version, there's like 1 month, one product per month.
Yeah.
So it's like, we are doing the catch-up, but they're going so fast.
we need to also get there.
Yeah. So,
okay. I guess to kind of wrap things up, is there anything that you think that folks outside of Korea should know about the Korean Digimon scene?
So there's a lot of like a shop. There's a lot of shops that play both, that host the Japanese version and the Korean version of the tournament because there's like different guys that who are interested in this kind of game. So this place, it's called like Yoksam Tournament Center.
Yeah, it's pretty busy, y'all. It's a crap ton of people behind me. They're not all playing Digimon, but like that back there, that's group. Some of those in the corner are, yeah.
They're doing like Korean tournament right now, actually.
Yeah.
So this is one of the place that a lot of people come to play the Korean version. I usually suggest people try to come here. Actually, last time when you come to Korea, I actually invited you to one of the places, right?
Yeah.
That place actually just moved over here, so that's the place.
Oh, this is that place?
This is that place.
Oh, wow. So the shop just moved. Okay.
They just moved over.
So I've only been to one card shop.
Yeah. That's basically what happened.
Okay.
It's one of the better shops because they are open to a lot of the card games out there. So I suggest you to come to Yeoksam Card Nyang, like the cat.
Yang. Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, for folks watching, where can they find you, or like where you're putting out information about the Korean Digimon card game scene?
So I post a lot of like the Korean and the Japanese version of the meta that happens in Korea at my Twitter.
Yeah.
So you can find me at IamBananaSoup.
All one word?
IAM and then banana soup.
Okay, so
all one word.
no spaces, no
spaces,
underscore.
okay. Just IamBananaSoup.
Cool. All right. Well, again, thanks, Kurt. Sorry, I took you. You actually have tournament duties. He actually ran today's tournament when I got murdered by the Korean players. These guys are talented. Holy crap! Licking my wounds back in Japan with my little Jessamon deck. Anyway, thanks again, Kurt, and hopefully we'll see you when you guys catch up, or I can come back to Korea again.
Oh, I mean, we might come back to Japan again with a team.
Nice.
Later.
That'll be sick.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks
All right.
again. Take care.